So hello everybody, I am Pinstar and this is Factorio. This is just more of a learning the game Pinstar plays style stream. I've picked this up maybe about two, three days ago. Been playing it non-stop since I picked it up, but I do not know nearly enough about the game to call this a strategy and tactics, so I figured the most appropriate venue for it would be a live stream. So expect to see me, for those of you who are veterans who might be watching, expect to see me make some newbie mistakes, maybe some less than optimal stuff. Some hints and tips, especially regarding, optimal shortcut keys, are definitely welcome. But don't go too crazy, at least for those of you on the stream, with backseat gaming. Because I'm still learning the game, and I'd like to develop my own style in terms of how I lay things out. I've been playing, like I said, I've been playing it before, but let's get started with a fresh campaign on the free play here. So new game, and let's see here. Yeah, we'll keep everything normal, and we'll do a normal seed here, or a normal random seed. So I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to be getting into in terms of what this map's going to throw at me. Although the more I've read, it doesn't matter too much what your starting map layout is. But that being said, some starts are easier than others. So there's a possibility I might die horribly in the early game, at which point I'll just start. Anyway, enough of me babbling. You guys want to see the game, so let's get into it. All right, let's see here. This is the Factorio free play. Your task is to prepare the planet for colonizing forces from Earth. Landing ships would be an easy target for attacks from the native bases. However, they can be protected by a rocket defense. You will need to research advanced technologies in order to unlock the rocket defense. Start small, work your way up with automation, and don't forget to protect from the natives. So yeah, basically, you're like the scout party. For a colony ship. You're the one guy they sent ahead to sort of prep the planet for the rest of the colonists. And the native life here, they're not too happy about you being here. So you need to, you basically need to lay down some infrastructure, and by some I mean a lot, and also protect your incoming colony ship from the natives. So that's pretty much the game. This is a simulation game, but it actually has a specific goal in mind. That being said, it is a very long-term goal. You're not gonna knock this out in an hour. I think the world record for beating the game stands at like 4.5 hours, and that's being done by someone who knows exactly what they're doing and probably who picked a map seed that is like perfect for it. All right, so let's get started here. All right, so we have, like I said, unless you're playing multiplayer, you are all by your lonesome on this planet. Now it is a little Minecrafty in that you're dealing with coal. That's a lot of coal. That is a metric F load of coal. A little copper over here. Do we have iron? Do we have iron? Oh my God, this is a very generous start. This is an extremely generous start. Yeah, all the really good necessary stuff is all nearby, and according to my mini-map, yeah, there's a bigger vein of copper over there. The forest is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I think I'll live. So holy crap, this is a generous start to the game. All right, so first things first, we start out low tech and we start out doing everything manually, but the name of this game is automation. So as we progress, we will be automating things more and more. But like I said, early game, a lot of things are done by hand. Now we start off with a burner miner drill and a stone furnace. This is what we need to start making iron plates, which is sort of like a real basic but very important material to make pretty much everything else in the game. So since we have our big patch iron ore here, we're going to put the burner mining drill here. We'll put it just right here. As long as it's on the iron, it's good. And then right down here, we're going to have it spit. Now this little slot here is where it spits out the iron once it mines it. And we can deposit it in here. Now, the reason why we're setting up this drill is quite important. We can get iron ourselves, but I mean, look at this. Without a tool, it's going to take forever. Luckily, we can make a tool. Get an iron axe here. But even with a tool, yeah, all that for 1 iron ore. 1 iron ore is crap. It's nothing. You're not going to do crap with 1 iron ore. So what you want to do is you want to automate this. This drill, if we give it some fuel, will automatically mine up iron ore and then deposit it. Now depositing it into the stone furnace with giving it a little fuel is what we need to start making iron plates. And that's going to be useful in making, well, pretty much everything else in here. Now, what do we get for fuel? Well, we do have that tool, and it's we have a lot of trees around here that we're going to need to clear out. And in the early game, trees are a great source of fuel. So chopping them down is definitely worth it. Later on in the game, wood, wood is not a cornerstone of your things. It's useful in the early game, but not so much later on. Because I mean, this is a higher tech game. This is a spacefaring race. Now, granted, you do have to research some technologies, and you have to basically, since you're all by your lonesome on this planet, get some things established the old-fashioned way before you can start bringing out the high-tech stuff. All right, so we got some good wood here. So let's throw some fuel into here. So now that we have this fuel, it's going to start burning the wood, and it's going to start mining iron ore. So every time that green line hits the top, it's going to spit out an iron ore. It's spitting the iron ore into the stone furnace. The stone furnace can't do anything with it yet, but we give it some fuel, and it's going to start processing the iron ore into iron plates, and it can build up a fair number of those. So that will serve our purposes for the moment. I'm going to just continue getting a little bit more... Oh, you know what? There is one resource I have not located yet. I need stone. Stone's not really that important in the grand scheme of things, but you need a little of it. Oh, and here's a little of it. This is precisely all the little of it that we need. Now I'm going to harvest up a little bit of stone by hand here, because you need stone to make another one of those drills, and we're going to make a drill on there to start harvesting up more stone. But we don't need to go crazy. I'm trying to avoid doing that. Now, by control left clicking on here, we can just harvest the iron plates that are sitting on the output slot here of this stone furnace. So that can make things go a little bit faster here. All right, so now we look here at our crafting tab, and this starts kind of small. There's not too many things we can craft. But as we research more technologies, this will get bigger and bigger and bigger and more complex and more useful and bigger and bigger. Many things that can be made. So it's actually kind of good that you start out so low tech, because there's not, if you started out with being able to make everything, you'd just be overwhelmed with options. But here, you only have a few things you can do, and you have to learn to use them to make better tools, more automated things. And that lets you, go more and more. I like the learning curve of this game. It's steep, it's tough, but it's fun. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to make another one of those burner miner drills like we put down for there. We only start the game with one, so you have to manufacture another one. Luckily, we have the materials on hand to make it into it. Now, you have to make some sub-materials. It requires stone furnaces and iron plates, but we can manufacture those by hand as well. It takes a little time, but as you say, making one of these, not the end of the world. So we're going to slap this on here. There we go. We don't need to smelt it. So I'm just going to make a wooden chest so that it has some place to build up. So I can later harvest it. And then, just like as before, slap some fuel in there and let it cook. And the great thing about automating everything is, while I was fussing over this has continuously been cooking. As long as they have fuel, which they still do, this has been making iron ore, and this has been accumulating iron ore. So we just come back up here, and hey, we got more iron plates to play with. And then we come down here. I mean, this hasn't had much time to cook. I need one more stone. Come on, one more stone. There we go. Perfect. All right, then that should allow me to make 2 more of these burner miner drills, which I will do. Like I said, there's a lot of things in this game that you can just manufacture by hand, and in the early game you pretty much have to do that. But as things get more complex and more sub thing oriented, you're going to want to actually manufacture them with machines rather than yourself. Otherwise, your queue would just be perpetually full of stuff you needed. It would take forever to get anything done. All right, so here, I'm going to do a little trick here with these coal harvesters, because coal can serve as fuel just as much as wood can, and it's a lot more plentiful here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slap a little coal in here to get it started. Now what it's going to do is it's going to output into this one, which is going to provide it fuel. This one's going to put out to this. So basically they just feed each other. Now, what's the whole point of them feeding each other? Well, they pull up more coal than they burn for fuel, meaning that you can harvest the excess for fuel. So now we've got basically a self-contained fuel generation system going here. It's pretty nifty. I'm still going to harvest some more trees because you do need wood for other things besides just using it as early game fuel. And we also need to clear some space. Trees, big forests like the one to the north of us are often the bane of players trying to expand their factories into large operations. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from cutting them down other than the fact that there's a lot of them and you don't need all of the wood. All right, so let's grab a little bit more of our iron plates, and also we need to start harvesting a little bit of the copper here. We only need a little bit of it, but we do need some. So let's no, we don't need to harvest it by hand. I do want to get a mining drill on there. Also, yeah, we're going to need some more stone to make to both make the mining drill and also another furnace, because you do need to smelt that. So we'll go here, grab the stone that's accumulated. So 49 stones accumulated from there. There. Yeah, we still got plenty of wood here. So let's top off the fuels in here. Yes, I know I'm going to be getting coal in the near future, but I might as well burn off the excess wood that we're collecting here. Waste not, want not, and whatnot. All right, so we can make 7 of these. We only need 7. We only need 1 plus 1 stone furnace. Go. All right, so we're going to slap down one of these. Slap down one of these, and let's give them a little fuel here. Yeah, we can give you some. Hey Pascal Dulio, how's it going? How's my audio, by the way? I haven't heard anyone complain or praise the audio in terms of my voice relative to the game. So let me know how the audio is doing, so that I might adjust the in-game settings if necessary. All right, so we got the copper plates going here, so that'll be useful later on. Now I want to ramp up my iron production because yeah, this one burner miner drill, it's sitting on 2.5k units of things. So this little tiny 4 square patch of iron deposit has 2.5k iron, and very slowly this one drill is going to pull it up and plop it into the stone furnace. That's great, but not great enough. We're going to need iron in much larger quantities. So what I'm going to do here. Okay, good. And yes, I know the game is really dark right now. It is nighttime. It will lighten itself back up in the daytime, and later on I'll be able to craft lights so I can actually keep my area lit, so you're not looking in half darkness for half the game time. So we're going to get a couple more of these burner miner drills. Let's get 3 of them, 3 more furnaces, and let's start plopping them down here. Oh, so a drill, and 1 more drill. And then furnace. And since we've got all that coal sitting around, let's add that to it. I'll just seed them with 25 each here. Oops. I'll pick up more coal in a minute. You can have 13 and 13. I can always get more coal. And oh, what the hey, you start with the wood, and I'll go get more coal for the. Also might want to get a couple more things of coal here. Oop, and our stone miner is out of fuel. That's fine. Have some more fuel. Actually, yeah, let me just chop some trees while we're waiting here. We'll dump a little raw wood into you, and then harvest more trees and give you guys more raw wood. Alright, so now I've pretty much quadrupled my iron plate production here, which is good. I like iron plates. And we're going to be making a lot of them, a lot. Because this is just the early game. This is like the way I see the game is it has like unofficial tech levels. Like there's nowhere in the game that says, you know, this is tech level 1, tech level 2. But the way I see the game, it has tech level. Right now we're at tech level 0. We haven't researched anything. We're only using our starter stuff. And that's these burner things. Everything that we're using here pretty much requires fuel. You know, we got a fuel to power the burner miners. We need fuel to power the furnaces. We need fuel for pretty much everything. And we're walking around and doing everything by hand. No, this isn't my first time playing. I've been playing it for about 3 days straight. So I've scratched the surface. I know what I'm doing for the most part, but I have not reached the end game yet. And there's probably some newbie mistakes that I will continuously be making. Yeah, this is not a strategy and tactics series. But you're not also going to see me fumbling around for an hour trying to figure out how to do one little, you know, intuitive thing or, you know, one little simple thing. So I will be speaking of what I'm doing from a position of knowledge for as long as I have knowledge, and then once we get later on in the stream, depending on how long the stream goes, I'm probably going to be guessing. Oh wow, okay, so you are definitely a veteran compared to me here. So yeah, I'm still trying to develop my techniques, so I'm trying to figure out, you know, just basically teach myself the game and learn the optimal techniques here. So expect to see some inefficiencies potentially, but also, like I said, I kind of know what I'm doing. All right, we should have enough here to move to... Oh yeah, hang on, let me make a couple more of these burner miner drills. I like having 4 of these things going. And basically what I'll do is I'll have the 4 of them feeding each other. Turn that one around and then they'll just circle feed each other. Okay. Alright, so our next stage here, the next thing we need to do to sort of bring us out of the Stone Age here is get some power. Holy crap, another gigantic coal deposit. This is nuts. Man, this place is just lousy with coal. Sorry I didn't pick the seed for this. I would have liked to know what this map's seed is. Sheesh. Alright, what? I need to find a good spot for our power generation. Actually, down here, going upwards might work. I'm gonna have to haul the coal downwards a little bit, but that actually leads me into some bigger space with both an iron and a copper deposit, and later on oil over here. So actually, yeah, this is a pretty good spot. All right, so in order to get started, and this is a ratio, check out the program Foreman on the subreddit. I've been on the subreddit. I have not checked out Foreman, but I will check that out after the stream. I know some basic ones, like I know the steam engine ratio, 1 offshore pump with a pipe to ground. 13 boilers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 boilers, and 10 steam engines. Will give you the perfect and proper ratio when doing steam-powered generator type stuff. All right, so let's get our water pump here. This basically draws out water from the nearby lake. And we're going to do a pipe to ground here just to give us some wiggle room space here, because otherwise laying normal pipe blocks your ability to run across it, and This long line of stuff is pretty much going to block us anyway, so we want to have sort of an opening here. Yeah, I might look into it. And that's the thing. I don't want to copy other people's designs. Like, I've seen other Let's Plays just to get some basic tutorial facts, but I've avoided some of the late game stuff because I do not want to, carbon copy other people's builds. That is my goal here. Okay, so we've got the water pump. We've got the pipe to ground. Let's get those boilers set up. 13 of them, all in a row. Basically, the boilers, this stuff draws the cold water out of the lake. The boilers, once properly fueled, will heat it up. And then once the hot water is brewed up, it can be delivered here to the steam engines. The steam engines then turn the hot water into electricity, and that will bring us out of the Stone Age and into the modern age. But before we do that, we need to get a way to we need a way to deliver all that good stuff down there, and that's going to take some coal. Now, yes, I could just harvest the coal here and then run it down there and plop it in there. But no. This is Factorio. This is the name of the game. Is all about automation. You can do things by hand, but it's not the ideal thing to do things by hand when you can avoid it. So let's grab our iron plates here, so we have plenty of goodies to work with. I don't think we're going to need the stone. So what we need is some transport belt. This is like the bread and butter of a factory. This is basically conveyor belts, self-powered conveyor belts. So they don't actually need the electricity. The other thing I'm going to get is burner inserters here. A bunch of them. Actually, 2, 3, 4 for our coal, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of them for our things. Now, see how long this is taking? We're still working on making the transport belt. That isn't even started on the burners. Now, see what I'm talking about? Like later in the game when you need to make a lot of some things, making it all by hand is not really that viable. You're just going to be sitting around forever waiting for them. So now it's finally getting to our burners. Our burner inserters. Now the inserter, and it comes in many different flavors, is very important to our factory layout. But you know what? I think it's better for me to explain and demonstrate than to just plain out and explain. So what we need to do is we need to get the coal from up here down to the burners down here without having to manually run up here, pick up the coal, run down here, open up all the burners, put the coal in there, and then keep doing that every time the boilers need coal. That's tedious. So first off, what we're going to do, I'm going to pick up each of our things here, because we're actually going to move them a little bit further down in the deposit, just because it's a little closer that way. And also, I need to change their layout. Now I have a little layout that I came out here with for this stage of the game that I particularly like. It's sort of a self-feeding one. So what we do here is we go here, 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 2 on that side, 2 on that side. There we go. And what we do is going to actually, instead of having the belt go straight down, we actually have the belt go up a little bit. We go up like that. Now this is going to be a little unintuitive, but I'm going to move it around like that. Leave a little space right here. I'll show you why in just a moment. Wrap it around here, like so. Go up a couple of spaces, and then around and back down. And then now we're going to send it downwards towards the boiler. I need to have it scooch just a little bit to get over. That is where we need it to go. I need to make more of those, so more of those I shall make. So what's the point of doing it that way? Why all this little spaghetti up here? Well, watch this. So these need fuel, and these need to continuously be fed fuel. And since we need them to deposit their things onto a conveyor belt, they're not going to be shoved up against each other and automatically self-feeding. And I don't want to continuously babysit them and feed them myself. So what's the solution? These burner inserters. So these are little robot arms that basically just take things from one side of them and plop them in the other. Real simple. These are not sophisticated machines. These are just real dumb, like, oh, there's something, I'm going to grab it and put it behind me. That's all they do. So what we do is we're going to put a couple of them here. 1, 2, and 1, 2, like that. Now we do need to prime them. They feed themselves coal, but we need to prime them with a little fuel just to get them started. So we're going to just put 1 unit of fuel in them. That's the only time you're going to ever need to fuel them, unless you completely run out of fuel, but then you have bigger problems than burner inserter. And we do need to prime all of these with 1 fuel, so I'm going to do just that. Just enough to get them started. It's like priming a pump. You know, you expect the pump to work on its own, but... Alright, so now here, look at this, watch this. So coal comes by, arm grabs it, puts it back in here. And as soon as these guys are just filling these up with all the fuel that they need. So they're currently using everything that they are. All right, so one got by here. So what's going to happen is this one's going to go by here, and then this one's going to say, oh, here's one. Oh, he's going to give it to himself. Well, that's okay. It's good that they self-fuel. So now he feeds it back to here, and he feeds it back to here. Now you might say, now Pinstar, what the heck's the point? You're making coal, and then all these arms just keep grabbing it and feeding it back into the drills. So what's the whole point? Well, the point is, once the drills have had their fill, they make much more coal than they use to power themselves. So now we're going to get the excess coal flowing down the conveyor belts. And that is how we get it to the boilers without having to continuously shuffle it around ourselves. So we got that extra stuff made down here. So we're going to run the belt all the way down here. And we've got 13 more of these burner inserters. And the whole thing is they're going to grab coal off the belt and put it in the boiler when the boiler needs it. And also feed themselves a little bit. So 1 for each of them. And just like before, we're going to sort of prime the pumps here. So I'm going to stop using the wood for now, just because I'm actually going to be using wood for a recipe in the very near future. So each of these, once they need one thing to be fueled manually, but once they do that, then you're golden. Not to mention, we have a butt ton of fuel coal in our inventory here. So if we ever need to deliver fuel by hand, we're golden. You know, we can provide all the fuel that's needed. All right, so see, now as these get on here, the burner inserters are feeding themselves, but also feeding the boilers. Those boilers are heating up the water. Now these aren't operational yet, even though they're starting to get hot water. There's nothing drawing on them, and also there's no power poles to sort of basically grab their electricity. So we need some small electric poles, and this is what you need the wood for. Wood and copper cable, but we've got the copper plates in our inventory, so we can make that copper cable there. All right, so, and then, these things have little effects of the radius, so you just need to make sure they're within that area of effect. So we'll put one here, one here. Now, it still says there's no power, but that's, again, because nothing's drawing on the power. What I like to do to sort of test my power system, make sure I've set this up properly, is make a radar. I'm going to make one of these radars. It's one of the more technological things that you start with at tech level 0. You don't need to research the radar, but it's really useful in the early game. Basically, what the radar does is the map in Factorio, just like in Minecraft, is essentially infinite. It is procedurally generated and goes on essentially forever. But we are only seeing a tiny little bit. Now, you can go walk around and explore it, but that's dangerous because there's native life around there, and we're not very well equipped to handle native life. But a radar will scan and reveal the map around its area for you slowly over time. So putting one down now, if you let it cook for a long time, will slowly reveal the map and might point us to more interesting things out there. So we're going to put that in there, and this is how we can tell our electrical system is working, is as soon as you put down something that... Yep, I just got my steam engines online. I only have 3 right now, but I've got 7 more in inventory and enough burners to fuel them. So I can add to our power network as necessary. So we now have electricity online here.